God forbid a girl want to have fun.
Everyone's always saying, you know, you gotta be ambitious. Sometimes you gotta be ambitious about rest.
Yeah.
About nurturing your soul and your heart. You know, they say that the only way to treat being overwhelmed is to do absolutely nothing. It's in those spaces that you find who you are, even that you connect with your life.
And don't feel guilty about it. Sometimes we feel like if you're not being active and working, it's a bad thing, but you need that to like refresh yourself.
It's trauma-based. You don't feel like you deserve to rest.
Like this, if I list,
Update, guys. I'm really bad at
but if I
this.
pull from here,
Good morning. صباح الخير. Fine, don't pick up. Why on earth would you want to speak to your daughter? I have absolutely no range. The fact that I have a green velvet couch and green velvety PJs right now, I have aerial yoga in like an hour and a half, and I'm very, very excited about it. As a student of life, September always feels like the beginning of the new year. And life update, I am not getting married or having a baby, but look at my new binder. It's so cute! I have an exam tomorrow for Arabic. It's so funny how I get tackier as I get older, and I don't know if that means I'm getting freer or just tackier, but I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. I cannot wait to pull this out today in public. I've been giving myself like small daily tasks every day because I've been so burnt out lately. It's not entirely burnout. I think I was getting burnt out, and then I went to Egypt for a month, and I think the overstimulation of being in Cairo, alhamdulillah, I'm not complaining at all. But I think it was like the cherry on top. I need a long time to recover. Anyway, not important. I came back and I was like, dude, I am having severe cognitive dysfunction. I'm like missing every exit. I'm zoning out. I can't listen to a word people are saying. I can't concentrate. Like my attention span is shot. I was like, I don't know what to do. I can't be social. I can't respond to a text. I'm like, no, I've been here before. I don't want to do this. This can't be a thing. I don't accept this. And then I was like being really evil to myself, and I was like, I haven't done I haven't done enough to be burnt out. I don't accept that. Because also it's like very socially unacceptable to be burnt out, like the amount of time that it takes to recover from burnout. As somebody who is familiar with burnout, I've always said that the only way to recover is to do absolutely nothing. To sit in a dark room with no stimulation, to be in silence as much as possible, to not be social, like to listen to Quran, to just completely disconnect from the world. And it sucks because that comes with so many consequences. But it's like you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. It's like that or die. So I know this, but I was being really mean to myself. And actually, not to be bbabym, just because I feel so much better now, alhamdulillah. And that is because I forced myself to rest. But I have to read you guys my negative thoughts from a couple weeks ago. I don't give a about your journal, but also I want one of those, what are they called? I don't even know the name of them. Those journals that are so cute and are like $1 bajillion. But what I do I have it here with me? I bought a bunch of these like tiny little journals that I take around with me everywhere. It was like a pack of like 50. Like this is my August journal, and it's so nice and low commitment, and I could just take it with me everywhere because it's just a tiny little thing. When I shop of want things, I have too much time. I think when I'm shopping too much or when I'm spending too much money, I have too much time, which is true. I've been lately, which is true. Like I need to cut my tongue off because I'm naturally a hater. There's so many things that if I open my mouth, I would get canceled for. I'm naturally a hater, but I don't voice it because I don't think that my opinion is very important. For the first time in a long time, I have no idea what's going to make me feel better. True. I'm ungrateful. I need to manage stress better. 29 is an ugly age. Rest actually makes you feel so much better. Wasn't social, like took time off, stopped feeling guilty about it, and it was great. It was fun. It was not fun at all, I'm lying. And I forgot how much I loved reading. I just finished The Wedding People, and it was just like a cute read. It was like this woman who goes to a hotel to off herself and like meets amazing people, and you know, I'm not gonna give away the book. It doesn't off herself. So that was a cute read. As I've been easing back into my routines, I've been reminding myself of a few things. They're mostly for me, but maybe they'll help you too, especially if your brain works like mine. Working from different environments is big for me. I still work from home when it feels right, but if there's no real reason for me to stay in, I make myself get out, even if it's just to a cafe. It gets me out of my bubble and makes me feel part of the world again. I try to keep my to-do list small and actually stick to it. Finishing it builds momentum and makes me feel proud of myself, which matters more than checking a million boxes, and usually in turn makes me more productive because I'm not killing my energy. The way I start my day really does set the tone. If I reach for my phone or sugar first thing in the morning, my brain will chase that dopamine all day. I've also realized that traditional breaks don't really work for me. They tend to derail me completely. So instead, I don't use breaks as a reward, and I structure my day around my prayers. They act as natural breaks and help reset my energy without pulling me out of rhythm. I've also cut out mindless snacking because most of the time it's just me trying to procrastinate or distract myself. And not that I ever believe that food should be a reward, but I would much rather cook or enjoy my meals versus just mindless snacking throughout the day where I don't really know I'm not really fully paying attention to what I'm putting in my body. This next one is a big one for me. I try to avoid decision fatigue at all costs because it's exhausting. Laying things out ahead of time saves me so much mental energy. For example, planning my days the night before and having go-to meals throughout the week to minimize the number of decisions that I have to make. Because at my big age, I'm still shocked and underestimating how much energy it takes to make such trivial decisions like what I'm gonna wear, what I'm gonna eat, where I'm gonna go. And it just makes it so much more difficult to make the bigger decisions. Eliminating or just reducing the trivial decisions is so big for me because decision fatigue is a very, very real thing in my book. I just destroyed my bedroom trying to get ready, and I still don't like what I'm wearing. Let me bring you guys closer. Okay, I have to discuss something very important before I go and change and make myself late. I never read self-help books, ever. I don't find them very helpful. I think they make me feel worse. I think there's too much information. I don't enjoy them. I don't get much from self-help books, aside from The Artist Way. That is a great book. And I just much prefer to read a great fiction book. But I decided to read a self-help book, and I wish I didn't. I started it. I'm 20% into the book, and I don't think I'm going to finish it. For example, I remember a few years ago, I was scrolling through Libby, which is like the library card app that you can use to get books for free, and it's lovely, even though it's not that sustainable anymore because it takes like 15 weeks to get books now. There was like a skip the line, it was The Body Keeps Score. I was like, you know what? I've heard so much about this book. That book gave me so much anxiety. I can't explain the feeling. I was like, I just don't want to read this anymore. Not because I didn't want to know, but I was like, I feel like it's just too much information and I don't know what to do with this. And then I saw this book, which had a funny title, so I was like, let me just give it a chance. And it's called absolutely no knock to this author, by the way, The Perfectionist Guide to Losing Control. And I was like, you got me, that's such a good title. Mind you, I've never considered myself a perfectionist ever in my life. It started off fine, and actually I like the way that the author doesn't consider perfectionism to be a disorder, something that needs to be fixed, rather like something to embrace and celebrate. And she talks about being like an adaptive perfectionist versus a maladaptive perfectionist, which is the one that will ruin your life. She also breaks down the different types of perfectionists, which is so unlike me to give into because typically I hate attaching labels to my identity. Like I don't like personality tests and like obviously take everything I say with a grain of salt, but it just feels a little bit limiting to be like, oh yeah, this is how I am. If it's not obvious, I have raging ADHD. And it helps to give myself grace sometimes to be like, okay, this is why it takes me longer to do this. This is why X, Y, Z. But like, it doesn't necessarily help to know that you are something and not actively try to make your life better, catering to it, if that makes sense. Which is typically what happens when you read self-help books because they just give you information and you're just like, okay, what do I do with this now? But I gave into this and she was reading the different type of perfectionists. And mind you, again, I'm not even a perfectionist. See, she's opened my mind. I've never considered myself a perfectionist. And in fact, I've always said, like, I wouldn't have been able to do anything in my life if I was a perfectionist. Like, I would have never put myself out there at all in any sense. I don't need things to necessarily be perfect. I give myself space to improve. I know that I appreciate mess and space for improvement and for things to be imperfect. So that's why I never considered myself a perfectionist. So the types of perfectionists that she mentions, the intense perfectionist, the classic perfectionist, the Parisian Parisian perfectionists, and the messy perfectionists. Guess which one I am? Messy perfectionists effortlessly push through the anxiety of new beginnings. Our superstar idea generators adapt to spontaneity well and are naturally enthusiastic. Left unchecked, they struggle to stay focused on their goals, ultimately spread their energy too thin to follow through on their commitments. Which I just thought was interesting because I wouldn't consider that person a perfectionist, like based on like the initial ways that she describes. And then as it goes on, I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Do I need this new label in my life at 29? I don't think so. I don't think so. It's very informative. I'm sure it gets great. I'm never gonna know because I'm never gonna finish the book. And if you guys ever catch me reading a self-help book again, tell me to stop. I will say, like, my takeaway from the little bit of the book that I did read is that I think a lot of my like self-criticism comes from being a perfectionist. One, because I love novelty. I love newness. I love fresh starts, starting over, beginning new projects. I love the momentum. I love meeting new people when you know absolutely nothing about them and there's like so much possibility at the beginning of things, and it's just such a fun feeling. Maybe that's not healthy to love it as much as I love it. Like a new season, I just love September. I love starting over. I love it, and I think I believe in it. I believe in starting over. Two, I would say I'm a very hopeful, ambitious, like creative person. I don't think that I will ever run out of ideas. I've never believed that. I feel like it's till infinity. There's so much I want to do and I could do. Yeah, just the possibilities are endless. Alhamdulillah, I don't see that as a bad thing, but I am well aware that when I don't live up to the expectations that I set on myself, I can be really critical of myself in a way that's very obviously unfair and harsh on myself. But I think it's just a give and take. Like, I love that about me. I love that I think I can just do things. Like, I could have never done anything and I could be like, yeah, I can do that. Like, there's no reason why I can't do that. But then at the same time, it's like if I can't do it, I'm like, damn, why couldn't I do it? I think the book just like put it all out there in a way that I didn't actually want to see. But then also, last thing I'll say about this book is she really hates like the idea of balance, and I've always been somebody who is so big on balance. Actually, if anyone asks me what my definition of success is, it's like to be very balanced. I really love my time and learning and spending time with family and friends, and I'm not somebody who's gonna, sacrifice all of that to be the absolute best at my career ever. Like that's not me. I'm not someone who's like, I need to be number one. I need to be the best at what I'm doing, which is actually a very manly thing. Like I feel like men are always the ones who like need to be the best at what they do. Like I've never felt that way about anything. Actually, I just want to enjoy my life and live a very balanced life, inshallah. But she just completely rips that idea to pieces, in the sense that like it's just impossible to be balanced, and when you try to be balanced, you're just like being way too hard on yourself. So I think there was more that she was going to dive into, and I just didn't want to read it. Yeah, if you want to read it, be my guest, but I just didn't like it. I didn't like it, but it was a great title. You got me there. Judge the book by its cover. My new rug came, and I feel like it's only right that we do this together. So obviously, I moved everything to the side. I don't know if I'm going to bring the coffee table back because I have another one coming, because I don't know how to read measurements, and I just bought it based off vibes. And it's way too small. Though I do love it, it's just too small and it bothers me. Anybody who knows me knows that I have the biggest rug problem. Like I just can never pick the right rug. It's never it. But this one, shot Legato, I have a feeling this is the rug. I did love this rug. It was nice. It's simple. It's white. You can't go wrong. I feel like I can handle white. I live alone. I don't have kids running around. But I did spill coffee yesterday, the day before I got a new rug, which felt quite poetic. So, Bismillah. Okay, let me move these back. Okay, I'll smart. So, what's the kitchen? Got it. I did that. Oh my god, it's so fun! Oh my god, hold on. Oh my god, it's a lot to get used to right now. Oh my god, there's so much pattern. Okay, I need a second. Wow, that's a lot of pattern. Okay. Uh-oh. Oh my god, okay. Wow, that's a lot. I hate the rug so much. Mainly because it makes me anxious and a little uncomfortable because there's so much pattern and it's the wrong, I think it's not leopard print, I think it's cheetah print. I don't actually know the difference. I just know that it's too much and I can't have my home make me feel anxious. So it's not the rug. It is fun. It feels a little bit 2020 and I feel like I'm more mature now. I would hope. I don't think I can return the rug, so I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I feel like I can't leave you guys hanging. I just like couldn't film anymore. I was like, I need a second. I need a second to see how I feel. I gave it a couple days and I absolutely hate the rug. I hate it so much. I was gonna end the video here, but I just read something that I thought was so sweet and I feel like it's been a minute since I read a poem to you guys. I feel like it is relevant and this will be the note that I leave you guys on. I wanted a poem to come out of my sadness, but no poem came. I wanted a revolution to come out of my burnout, but no revolution came. I wanted a bird to fly through my open window, but my window was closed. I wanted sun on an evening when it was already dark. I just wanted a bit of grief rather than despair, and in my shame, I wanted my childhood back. I wanted to walk backward out of the room where I kept my secrets. I wanted to say I'm hurt before my hurt became a character trait I told no one but myself. When I wanted unknowing, I was given certainty. When I wanted the hard and fixed line, I was given mystery. Sometimes I wanted to give it all back, but to who, I wondered, and how? I wanted a life to come out of my life, but instead I was left with my life. All that wanting, I think now, and still I woke this morning to light in the memory of the time a bird did fly through the open window of my apartment, and scarred and senseless shat all over my couch before leaving. All that wanting, right? Sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes it happens worse. Make do, little friend, I call myself. Walk outward out of the room you have made out of your wanting into the room of where you are. The poem is here, the revolution too, and love still, even in the evening when light still shines. That is a poem called All That Wanting Right by Devin Kelly, and I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. I love you guys. I will see you in my next video.